What's going on, everybody? It's Octave with another indie game review of the game Sugarmill. Thanks to everybody for participating in this giveaway, and I'm happy to announce, as of the creation of this video, Adam H as our winner of the copy of the game. Congratulations, I will contact you through YouTube shortly. I had fun with this one, and I really hope everyone looks forward to the next giveaway. This system is a work in progress, and I really appreciate any support or suggestions you all might have to better the system. I hope you like this review, and please feel free to give me tips in the comments section below. One last disclaimer. This review is of the game in its current state. It is an early access game, and many of the observations were forgiving, such as bugs, glitches, etc. And more emphasis was placed on where the game could realistically go in the future, the core that this game could be built off of. Again, this is an early access game. Do not buy it if you expect a polished game. I hope to do a full review of this game once it comes out of early access. Okay, so let's move on to the review. Sugarmill is a city simulator with an emphasis on economics and resource management. It is currently available through Steam as an early access game. The developer is Atlantis Code, and it was released December 2016. The player starts out with a minimal amount of workers, a fixed amount of resources and storage, and the main goal is to survive and prosper as a community. Threats include pirates, starvation, exodus, as well as other concerns. Though there is a pirate threat, it seems there is no PvP in the game yet, but there are military construction options that act as sort of a deterrent. The game offers unique aspects such as resource exploration, like with food spoiling, management of carts and carriages to move supplies more efficiently, and villagers needing places to live, as well as needing their own specific material goods that will continually eat away at your resources. All of those features being said, it is important to note that as of this date, many of these features are still in development and need balancing. The graphics host a traditional top-down view of the game, similar to other simulation and RTS games. The game does do a good job on presenting perspective in the correct way on buildings and villagers, and each building does seem visually distinct. That being said, the graphics are basic, and textures could use some further attention. If you scroll around the map, you can see vast areas of just bland greens with some trees in it. The graphics do the job. They are simple, but there is no confusion on what and where objects are. It would be nice to see some refinement of textures and an ability to zoom further into the village to see more specific details. The sound does need a lot of work. Volume controls are rough and touchy, and the soundtrack volumes vary greatly. And various ambient sounds are loud and off-putting, so loud. But all that is forgiven in early access. One objective concern is the soundtrack itself. On Sugarmill's website, it seems that the music in the game is more than just a placeholder, and we may see it as the final product in the game soundtrack. The music itself was enjoyable at times, but the overall soundtrack seemed uninspired and bland. There were times where I found myself enjoying the soundtrack, but overall, I was not impressed. To me, one thing indie games can do well is the sound. I feel that being small provides a special ability to be flexible with music, and it can really set a game apart from the rest. I feel if this is the music that is going to be used in the final project, it is a missed opportunity for the game to set itself apart from its peers. To be clear, I am not calling the music bad in itself, but rather it is not the best fit for this particular game. The game takes place in the 16th century during England's colonial expansion period in the Caribbean. The actual townspeople come from a crashed ship that washed ashore the island, and all of the pressure of surviving is placed on you, the leader. There are two options: reconnecting with the crown or establishing a permanent settlement on the island you find yourself on. One main goal of the game is to establish a port to allow for imports and exports to allow for your settlement to thrive. This initially takes a long time, and as your port influence increases, you receive more clout and more shipments will come in faster. As your reputation increases, more trade ships will come to support the island. While the main goal is to promote economic prosperity, each advancement attracts the attention of the ever-watching pirates. To deter against this threat, your group will develop military outposts and military technologies. This whole plot sounds really good and it's really entertaining, but I didn't get any sense from this from the actual game itself. This was all based off of what I read about the game. So, in its current state, I didn't really experience any of this. It just felt like I got thrown on a world and here we go, let's build a city. The game uses a combination of macro and micro controls, and means of player influence is dependent strictly on the allocation of workers. You assign workers to various tasks, and they set up the various resources available for the community. This is a top-down strategy game that focuses on building and workflow management, not specific unit control. Think more like SimCity series, as opposed to an Age of Empires or Command & Conquer. The focus is on influence, economy, and security. Though you will construct military outposts, weapons, and dedicate units to defense, there is no actual combat in the game. To my understanding, there is a pirate threat threshold that, if passed, will result in an automatic game over. The game in its current form does have some obvious bottlenecks. One main area of concern is in resource gathering. Undoubtedly, the game needs to work through to balance the costs and gather rates to make a more fluid system. As for understanding the mechanics, prepare to learn as you go. There is a complete lack of tutorial and online references currently, and information everywhere is limited. There were times where I found myself setting the pace to 10x speed, the fastest in the game, and I still was sitting back twiddling my thumbs, waiting for various resources to gather. I believe this is due largely to the early access aspect of the game. Hopefully more balancing will come, and the next update is about balancing. The amount of gameplay currently available lacks depth, but the core system this game employs is immense. As it sits now, the amount of content available in the gameplay department is very limited, and every player interested in this game needs to weigh that fact heavily when consider purchasing the game. The devs have laid out a roadmap for the game, and they state there will be weekly updates on the game every Friday on Steam. The next 3 major update milestones are set to be December 23rd, January 20th, and February 17th. These updates focus on integral components of the game such as balancing, new buildings, and added depth in character mechanics and building. A current list can be seen on the game's website. I played this game for over 10 hours, and I felt I experienced everything it has to offer at its current state. That being said, the development team seems dedicated to listening to its consumer base. I felt encouraged as I played. Reporting bugs and making comments was at the forefront of the experience. And as I played the game, it actually had a balancing update. The bottom line: this game is for people that are prepared to have limited gameplay at the moment. Buying this game is more about being involved with the development process, and anyone who has strong passions about the genre may benefit from a purchase. The Steam reviews seem to mostly say the same things. The potential for this game is immense, and the game needs a lot of work in its current state. I give this game a conditional buy status, and anyone interested in the game should consider the scope of the game in its current state. I had a great time with this one, and the devs seem passionate about bettering the games. Personally, I feel like there's a huge amount of potential here, and I'm really gonna look forward to following this over the coming months to see where this game goes. And it really is up to us, the people supporting the game, to shape what it will become. Alright everybody, that's all I got for today. Let me know what games you want to see next in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this, and I'll see you in the next one.